Hello and welcome to Top Line. Well, we're back from the conventions and in a 55-day sprint to November 6th and Election Day. Joining me, of course, my colleague, my convention buddy, Rick Klein from ABC News. And Rick, we got a map in front of us. We know that for all the talk about national polls and where these guys are going nationally, it's these 8 battleground states where the race is decided.
That's right, and that is a difficult map to look at if you are Mitt Romney or his aligned folks. First of all those states in white, those are the battleground states. Those are the swing states. Those are the states that are too close right now to make any kind of guess as to where they're going to go. All of those states were Barack Obama states 4 years ago. That means that all of those states have a history of voting for Barack Obama. And when you hone in a little closer, Amy, Ohio, little Ohio, actually big Ohio, is just enormous in this race. If you take Ohio and you put it in Barack Obama's column, it makes it almost impossible for Mitt Romney to win. He would have to literally run the table just about every other state. No margin for error. You can't lose out west. You can't lose in the east. You have to even start winning states like New Hampshire and Iowa, which were so favorable for Obama 4 years ago. It just takes away so many options.
Right, and that's why, even when they're talking about expanding this map, there's no indication right now that the Romney campaign's even playing in places like Michigan or Pennsylvania, places that they said we can really make some inroads because of the demographic makeup of these states. Wisconsin is interesting, and I've had a healthy debate about this earlier this summer when Paul Ryan was chosen. Look, because he's on the ticket, he helps right now in Wisconsin, but no candidate has yet to advertise in that state. In fact, Mitt Romney is only going up tomorrow. That makes him the first candidate to play there. I'm very curious to see what the Obama campaign does. But for the Obama campaign, because they have the issue of money. Remember, they don't have the same amount of money that Republicans do. So in terms of expanding the map, they have to be careful. They're going to have to decide, well, do we give up on North Carolina, which we have shaded here in red, but Democrats really want to keep in play? Do we give up on North Carolina so that we can spend much more time defending ourselves in Wisconsin and then literally cutting off every path to victory for Mitt Romney?
Exactly. It's that Wisconsin and Michigan area right there that is so important for Mitt Romney right now because he's looking for ways to give himself some wiggle room. If he can get either of those states to flip, change Michigan's color, all of a sudden you're talking about a much different ballgame up on that map. And Wisconsin, as Paul Ryan's state, as the one state where we've seen polling shift in the wake of Paul Ryan's announcement, if you can put that back in play, it's so important. And then, Amy, the small states become important too because there are all these scenarios that you could actually wind up with a 269 to 269 tie, which would throw it into the House of Representatives under these very convoluted rules that are set up in the Constitution. Neither candidate wants that. So that's why you saw, for instance, all of the principles showing up in tiny New Hampshire. 4 electoral votes, so important because there's so many scenarios where we end up with an exactly tied electoral college.
But the bigger question remains, why is this race this close, right? We know that the unemployment rate is over 8%. We know there was a very dour jobs report this past Friday. And yet, in our poll and every other poll we've seen, not only is there a bounce for Obama post-convention, but really a sense among voters that Obama is at least better on handling the economy versus Mitt Romney. That has to change. There's no way you can win a place like Ohio if voters don't think you can do a better job on the economy. And so the question is, what are they doing and how are they going to get that? Wasn't the convention supposed to be the place where they were selling the Mitt Romney plan for the economy?
And President Obama winning on every personal attribute, even silly ones like who would you rather have dinner with or have over to your house for dinner, and also very serious ones like who do you trust on the economy, who do you trust on Medicare, who do you trust on taxes, who do you trust on foreign policy, national security, and yet he is not breaking out. These battleground states, very tight, a little bit of an Obama advantage in the national polls right now, but still a race. We know where it's going to be determined. You can see those states, and either side would just be happy to get them to shade just slightly between now and Election Day.
So, Rick, maybe we should get out of here and spend the next 55 days sitting in Columbus or Cincinnati and Cleveland. What do you think?
Game on. Love Ohio.
All right. So if you live in one of those places, let us know. What is it like to be an Ohio voter? Heck, what's it like to be a voter in any of those states? But I would love to know what it's like to be in Ohio, the center of it all. All right, that's it for us here at Top Line. Please be sure to check us out on Twitter. We're on 24/7 at Amy E. Walter, at Rick Klein. For ABC News and Yahoo News, we'll see you next time.